Hey everybody, I just want to let you know what I'm working on right now. Recently I released the HDRI Sky Time-Lapse Volume 1. It's a full November day time-lapse from sunrise to sunset, and it's all made in vray 6. Probably it's very uninteresting and useless for people who own and use vray 6, but there are lots of rendering engines out there which cannot create these awesome procedural skies with the clouds. So I thought for all the other rendering engines I would recreate full days from morning to the evening. I would render out all the frames, like one frame for each minute, and then you can use them to create awesome arc-viz renderings, or for automotive or whatever you need it for. This was a November day in London, and what I'm working on right now is a day in April in Berlin. What I'm actually doing is I go to several websites and research how the day would look like in that particular month, in that particular location, and I trace the sun, the position, the angle. I research cloud speed and cloud depth, and then I put in some variations that I think are interesting. And in vray 6 in 3ds Max I bring in the map and I recreate the sun position. I calculate the angle, and then with the vray sun object I put in the variations that I need, that I think are nice to look at and represent the clouds at that moment the best. Obviously I don't know, and the weather can always be different, but the last time-lapse I made was pretty good, I think. It was only around 500 frames because it was a November day. A November day is not as long as a day in April. So this time I'm working on 840 frames, and I put in a little bit more of these cirrus clouds. I love the look of the cirrus clouds, but when I looked at the sample I noticed that the sun is probably obscured with the cirrus clouds and the other clouds so much that the flickering was just too great, and you would have a lot of flickering in the animation, and that just doesn't look nice. Maybe there's something else going on here, I'm not really sure, but it was just too much flickering and I couldn't figure out what's going on. So right now this is a different setup with less cirrus clouds and with less clouds in general, and you can see that the flickering is much less. Obviously the sky is not as interesting anymore as before, but what I'm thinking about right now is maybe to comp the parts that are not directly around the sun. I could comp in the cirrus clouds around in the other places, so you still have nice clouds and a nice volume, but you don't have that flickering which is caused by the clouds obscuring the sun. That has to be part of the trial and error here, and it's kind of a lot of work to process this. It takes several hours, or rather days, to render out the whole 840 frames and then do tests and then readjust everything. And I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. It's just happening when the sun rises. It's something how vray calculates the reflections in the clouds. Probably just going to delete these frames here. So there's still some work to do for the next big time lapse, But for all the people who don't own V-Ray 6, I think this is some very nice stuff that you can use to do awesome renderings. Thanks for listening to me babbling about how I'm working on my latest stuff, and I hope I'll be finished sometime soon next week. Let me know if you like these kind of work in progress videos and me maybe working on my projects, so I will be recording more of those. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. You are the best.